What's up YouTube, it's your boy TPG back at it again with another Gundam video. This week we're doing two deck profiles, and the first one I want to cover is going to be the Blue-Green Earth Federation or 1 Year War Aggro. And it's a deck that I think is super powerful in the meta, and I think it's really important that you guys see this and hear thoughts on it. I took it to an event recently and did pretty well with it at a pretty decent sized locals. I think it's a really strong deck, and I'm going to talk about its play style, its weaknesses, and what you can do better with it, as well as what I can see happening to it in the future. So that being said, let's hop right into the deck profile. Alright guys, so here we have the deck. The first card is 3 copies of Char's Gelgoog. I'm going to talk about some things that you can change in this deck. I only had 3 copies of Char's Gelgoog. I tried to pick up the 4th before the event I played in, but I just wasn't able to get it. So I did play 1 extra card that I'll talk about, but that would be what I'd cut for the fourth Char's Gelgoog. Char's Gelgoog is a level 4 cost 4/3 that links with Char Aznable. It has active main. You get to pitch a Zeon or Neo Zeon unit card from your hand, and then if a pilot is not paired with this, you choose a Newtype pilot card that is level 3 or lower from your trash and pair it with this unit. So you can link with Char or Char from the discard pile. Again, 4 of this is pretty highly recommended. I did fine with 3. I don't think 4 would have made a difference in any of my games because I did see it in all of the times I needed it. But I think 4 is important for consistency. Next, we have 3 copies of the starter deck RX-78 Gundam. Man, these cards do not like to remain straight. It's quite a shame how much these bend, and I don't even live in a very humid climate. But other than that, during pair, it gives all of your units AP +1, which is really nice to just make them bigger. And then it has Repair 2, which just makes damage trading really, really strong because you get to heal your damage up. And it is a level 4, 3 cost 3/4 that links with Amuro Ray, who is another pilot we're playing. Amuro is just so strong in the format, allowing you to tap down blockers or bodies that you want to swing over and trade into with this, and then get your repair at the end of turn to heal back up is really, really strong. Okay, so on to the rest of the deck. We play 2 Goofs. Goof is a level 3, 3 cost. That's a 2/3. It has a link with Ramba Raw. We don't play Ramba, however, it does have deploy. You get 1 rested Zaku 2 token unit, which is just a 1/1 token. So basically you get 2 bodies, which is very strong. Obviously, 1 your opponent can swing over, but the fact is that you have another body forcing your opponent to choose between swinging over it or dealing damage to you. And if you leave that body, you have another attack, or if your opponent does swing over it, well, now you've preserved some shield, which is very nice. Another level 3 we're running is 2 copies of G Fighter. It links with any white base pilot, which is important. So you can link it with Amuro Ray. Also has deploy. Choose one of your white base team units. It gains high maneuver during this turn. It is also a white base team unit itself. So if you do not have RX-78, you can play this. Choose itself, link with Amuro, and now you have high maneuver. Even though Amuro is going to rest something anyways, if your opponent has just like a freedom or something too big, you can give it high maneuver to go in for game, which is very nice. Just a way to sneak in more damage. 4 copies of one of the best cards in the deck. This is the starter deck, Char's Zaku 2, or Char's Zaku 2. It's a level 3, 2 cost, 3/2 that links with Char Aznable. Has destroyed. Look at top 3 cards of your deck. Reveal 1 Zeon or Neo Zeon unit card from among them, put it into your hand, and then put the rest to the bottom in any order. So it just gives you more cards, and this deck doesn't have a lot of ways to build card advantage. After you make your big push turn, there'll tend to be a what'll happen in the game is there'll tend to be your early turns where you put down 1 or 2 bodies to break EX base and then chip in for some damage. I like to go first drop a body, second turn drop 2 bodies, and then third turn swing out to break base and break 2 shields. But what you can also do is after that, it's important to realize there will be 1 turn where your opponent is vulnerable, and that's when you'll have to plan ahead of time to drop your hand and swing out. And I'll talk about one of the weaknesses of this deck, and it's very hard. I think there's at least 1 deck that I know that's a pretty hard matchup. But this card helps you get that card advantage back if your opponent does not lose on that turn you decide to go all out. Next, we have 4 copies of the rare Charge Zaku or Charge Zaku 2. I don't love this card. It's the same stats as the other one. However, this one has during pair, when it's destroyed, you play a rested Charge Zaku 2 token, which is a 3/1 vanilla. It also links with Char, which is important, but I don't love this one nearly as much because it does require that pairing. But I think it's still a fine card. The main thing is that you have more cards to link and attack the turn they're played. So that's it for our level 3s. On to our level 2s, we play 3 copies of Gun Tank. This is a white base team unit, which is cool. It doesn't link with anything, but it's a level 2, 1 cost, 1/2. That on the play, you choose 1 rested enemy unit, deal 1 damage to it. There's lots of times my opponent will block a Char Zaku or something with a Lifrith, and then I can just drop this to clear that Lifrith, which is nice. 4 copies of the level 2, 1 cost, 2/2 Zaku 2. This is just a vanilla Zaku 2, but it's good statted, and it costs 1, which is important. 4 copies of, in my opinion, one of our best cards. This is this is just a Zaku 2 from the star deck. It's a level 2, 1 cost, 1/2, but when it attacks, it gains +2 AP, so it can break EX base by itself. So the ideal turn order of this game, in my opinion, playing this deck is go first, drop one of your level 1, 1 costs. On turn 2, you drop you drop this Zaku 2 plus one of these 2, or another level 1, 1 cost. And then on turn 3, you swing with this, break base, swing with the other 2 to get 2 damage in, and then now your opponent's at 4, and you have a lot of pressure on turn 3, which is very nice. So that is it for our level 2s. On to our level 1s. I have 2 copies of Pisces. This is just a level 1, 1 cost vanilla that is a 1/2. You could play Ball because it's an Earth Federation unit, and I think it like on play heals something, but it's a 1/1. I didn't find the 1/2 to matter that much. However, this is what I'd cut 1 copy for that Char's Gelgoog. That's what most of the lists are playing. Like I said, this could be a Ball just to have that Earth Federation, but you don't really have anything that's buffing Earth Federation anyways. If it was a white base, then I'd say play it so you can high maneuver it, but it's not. It's just an Earth Federation. So this is Pisces, just a blue 1/2. We play 4 Zaku 1. This is the level 1, 1 cost, 1/2. This is a Xeon card, which is nice. And then 4 level 1, 1 cost Dops. Dops just has deploy. Look at the top card of your deck and you scry. You return it to the top or bottom. It's a 1/1, but it does allow you to filter what you're going to draw, which is important because a lot of times you don't want to be drawing a pilot. You usually only want to see like 1 or 2 pilots in the game, or if you really need it, and this lets you know, if you have better odds of seeing it or not, which is nice. We do play a lot of these 1/1s just to round off dropping bodies, which is important. Onto our pilots, we play 4 Amuro Ray. Amuro's good. It's a level 4, 1 cost, gives +2/+1 burst, add to hand, which is good. And then it has when paired, you choose a with 5 or less HP and rest it. This taps down blockers. This lets RX-78 trade with things very nicely. So that's Amuro, really nice card there. And then 4 of the main pilot, Char Aznable. Char has burst, add this card to hand, and it's a level 3, 1 cost, +1/1. But if when it attacks, it gives +1 AP, and if it's a link unit, it gives it high maneuver, which is really nice to get around those blockers. It just does so much that it's really important, and also you can grab it back from Char's Gelgoog from the discard pile, which is really nice. And to round off the deck, we are playing, this is the main difference, I think, in my list than the other lists. I'm playing 3 copies of Corsica base. The other lists I've seen are playing 3 copies of Falmel. Falmel is the green base that on deploy gives you a Zaku token. It's a level 3, 2 cost, 0/5. This one's a level 3, 3 cost, but it gives you either 1 Tallgeese token, or if you've already used a Corsica base this game, it gives you 2 Leo tokens. The main downside difference is that this costs 1 more, but it gives you a bigger token that doesn't come in rested. It also can give you 2 tokens instead. And the other thing is this only works on your turn, whereas I believe Falmel plays the token no matter what when it comes out for base. So I think there's an argument for both. I personally just prefer Corsica base because I think it scales better and can give you more cards for better statted cards, right? Like a Tallgeese token plus a 1/1 or a Char breaks a regular base, which is pretty nice. So that is going to be it for the deck. I think the main flaw with this deck is that one push turn, you have no recovery. If you lose off of that push turn, it's pretty hard to win the game. I think this deck's worst matchup is for sure green-white, which is probably the most popular deck in the game right now. Especially green-white if your opponent's playing more wing 0. I played against 2 green-whites. I beat one, and I lost to the other. But the more of those cards that they're on, the worse this deck gets. Additionally, this deck also loses pretty bad to blockers and command cards. Right now, I think this deck is good because a lot of people aren't playing command cards other than Show of Resolve and Overflowing Affection. However, I think there's a lot of command cards that are not as popular right now as they should be. And I do plan on making a video in the next week about that and what command cards you should be playing. So look out for that. But I think command cards are another way to just beat aggro. And those are sort of the main flaws of the deck. However, I think if you are a player who likes playing low to the ground, aggressive decks, this is definitely a deck you should pick up. And if you have any questions about it, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deck profile, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know which deck in set 1 you're enjoying the most, and if you think this deck has staying power to stay in the meta. That being said, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.